Shawnee National Forest, no, Shawnee State Forest, hooty hoo. On Trail 7, and I've probably come about a mile and it's time to stop. I've got these Under Armour cold weather base layers. Not in chilly weather, it's cold weather base layer, and it's just too warm. I'm going to take those off to keep from sweating too much. The hills are challenging, I can tell you that, but it's beautiful out here. You can see now it's kind of foggy out, but you can see really what it is. All this underbrush, all these briars. This trail right here, this looks pretty good, although it's not much of it's like that. They have just recently come from that way, bulldozed this trail and made it so they could get some ATVs back here. They do that because their resources have been cut and they need to move faster, move better in order to maintain this trail. So they know that's going to grow back up some. So this is like I-70, I-75 compared to what I've been walking through. So there's my pack. You'll see this is really a shakedown cruise for all intents and purposes of this length. Anything cold weather related. I'll go over that once I get to camp. But basically you can see I got this Kelty here Catalyst. It's an 80, and I got my what's called a ribs wear on the side, and that's something that's going to fit around my ribs and allows you to carry things while you have your backpack on. What that really meant is, of course, I overpacked like I normally do, but I'm playing with it. I'm experimenting around with it to see if it's good for day pack, and maybe it's even good for carrying a revolver in there, which I've had some issues there with possibly needing that. So we'll maybe cover that a little bit later. I've got those really cheap trekking poles that me and Mikey Collins bought. He bought a pair on East Fork State Park. They're a store, and they've held up great. My wife has a nicer pair, which I got for her. However, I left those in a kayak up on the side of a river when we had to abandon them, and the water got in there, and I'm not sure if they're ruined yet, so we'll explore that. A little bit of precipitation. I don't know if it's really precipitation or if it's all this fog that's condensating on these leaves and falling on me, but let me get this cold weather base off. An issue I had as I'm walking, I had my spoon whacking something. So this is what I heard as I'm walking. And drove me a little nuts. So I'm gonna have to fix that. So otherwise the pack's holding up great. It's adjustable with its lumbar, shoulder to waist, height and adjustments. So I'm gonna do a little adjustments on that. So there we go. Howdy ho! Got my cold weather leggings off. We can also see this right here is part of the Buckeye Trail. Alright, there's where I'm going. So let's go. So I'm heading out. We are going counterclockwise on the Shawnee State Forest on the lower half, and I'm heading towards Camp 7. I'll stop there, take a peek at it, see what's going on, and I'm going to head on to Camp 6. According to the maps that I purchased for a couple bucks, it was very useful, very good purchase. The entire trip all the way from Trailhead to Camp 6 is 9.6 miles. Up and down these hills like that. That's going to be a little bit of a challenge for me, but it's going to be a good test of where my fitness is right now. I know I can make it. A little bit of fear though, is I brought a whole bunch of food. I brought too many snacks, too much recovery food, too much this, too much that. So I'm going to have to evaluate on this kind of weather, really how much do I need? Because that's a whole lot of my pack weight is food. And when you fear pack, when you fear eat, when you fear this, that leads to just potential failure. One reason why I'm kind of excited about this hike is I'd always have a fear of slowing people down. So usually when I go hiking with others, I'm just pounding out the miles. What that means is I'm looking down, trying to see where I'm going. I'm going to trip over a rock or whatnot. So what I'm doing today is I'm looking here. So look what we got to see. Trees, fog, trail, critters, Sasquatch, whatever happens to be out there. So, but you can see that is a much better view right there than this. So I am not yet to Camp 7. You can see here that trailhead up that way, heads on down, and goes over to the next page. And there's Camp 7. Camp 7 is not quite halfway. It's about 4.5 miles away. Camp 6 for me is reportedly about 9.6 according to the trail maps that I got. So once I get there, if Trail 7 or the Camp 7 is not that far away, I'm going to go take a look at it and see if maybe I want to stay there a night sometime in the future. But things are going great. Very, very quiet. The quiet is helped by this. Oops, there you go up on the ground and air. This quiet is helped by this mist that is still hanging around. A lot of wet, a lot of warm, a lot of mist going on. And another way that I'm staying going slow and keeping fresh is that every time I feel my heartbeat up in the base of my skull after I come up the hill, I go, okay, time to take a little break. So that's what I do. That's my indicator. When my arteries are getting ready to explode, that is my cue to give it a little break. So that's it. This is my second break. I don't believe I'm going to take another break before Camp 7 as far as an off the pack, off myself break. You can see I'm treating my pack rather poorly right there. I'll probably wait until Camp 7. So that's it. Hooty-hoo! Camp 7's that way. 0.1 mile to the campsite, 0.4 miles to water. I am doing good on water, so I have no desire to add an additional 0.8 miles to refuel. Oh, I'm hurting right now. Whew. After Camp 7, an uphill to warm myself back up to my little nap, and then a brutal downhill. At the end of that downhill, my thighs were just shaking. Then I had a nice little walk on the bottom. But let me see if I can show you what I just came up. It spans 2 hills/mountains. You probably won't be able to see it, but starting over way down there, it just comes up and comes up nice and steady, and it keeps rolling around and keeps coming up. That in itself may not be a challenge if you just started out. But after walking what I've walked so far and given my current fitness, this 900-pound pack I'm carrying, big old rump I'm having here, this was tough. This was tough. I can't decide whether I want all of it to be this way, because if it's all this way, when I arrive at camp, it's going to be a great thing. And at the end of this weekend, it's going to be a tremendous workout. But on the other hand, that's tough. It's brutal. It saps your will to continue, and so forth. So, but however, I will continue. So that's it. That was hard. Whew. Way up there. Woo! Way down there. Whew. Oh, I've arrived at Camp 6. I'm so happy. It's 3:51, we'll say 4 o'clock. I actually started walking away from my Jeep today at 9 to 11:12 for 7 hours. I took a little half-hour sit down, so 6.5 hours to do that. It was hard. After Camp 7, coming to Camp 6, the first half of the journey from 7 to 6 was terrible. I mean, terrible, up and down, up and down. You know, my legs were already tired from going already to Camp 7. Going down, my legs were shaking. I got a shaky leg. Going up, not so bad. But then the last half of the section from Camp 7 to 6 was basically flat. A little bit up and down. I was very, very thankful for that. So that last half is good. And feet hurt. Barking, can you hear them? Yep. So I have to give thought of tomorrow's going to be a recovery day. I don't think I'm going to hike anywhere. Maybe a 3 mile, 4 mile, maybe, depending on how I feel. But I want to make sure I'm ready to do what I need to do. All right, it's Thursday night. I don't know if you can see this, but I got my hammock taken care of, a couple things taken care of, and some of the things we'll do a little bit later. But tonight's meal is going to be very easy. It's the Big Easy Gumbo by Packit Gourmet. This is a pretty good one. So I've got about 4 different brands I'm eating this weekend, or this trip. But tonight I'm going easy. Tomorrow I'll do some two-course type stuff. Good morning, campers. It's Friday. Had a great night's sleep. I arrived at camp yesterday hurting bad, and I was happy to see camp. I actually, once I saw the turnoff for Camp 6, I actually was very vocal, something I'm not in the woods. I was excited to see Camp 6 so I could stop walking. Feet hurt, oh, legs hurt. But luckily, I remembered to bring my nighttime recovery with me. That stuff is magic. If you don't know about it, look down here. I'll link you in it, and we'll get you going. So here we go. Yesterday, I came walking along there, saw the camp, the turnoff there, and came down this way. So let's get a peek at what this camp's all about. Coming in this camp, first, it could have just been a pile of leaves, and I'd been more than happy. Looking over, I saw what a beautiful, beautiful view this is. Over here at the creek, we actually got two creeks coming together. That creek and that creek. I don't really know what the names of them are. I'll check that out and put it right down there, so you take a peek at it. There is another campsite over there if somebody chose to stay there, and that is where their latrine is. And they say latrine, that's exactly what it is. It's an old rotted box with a roof on it, but there is some toilet paper there in a plastic bag, so that is good. Better than nothing. And so here we go. You can see my campsite's in a little bit of disarray. So this morning I got out of the bed and said, hey, I need some breakfast. So I just threw everything out, got it going, and ate. Here's my little table I found. Somebody, looks like somebody was using this for the very same thing. It's just an old stump. So that's where I set up my cook pot, all the things I need to cook. As you can see, breakfast was just got finished, so I got a little bit of a mess to clean up right there. So I sit right here in my handy dandy little camp chair, grab stuff, cook stuff, eat stuff. Over here's my tarp set up. Again, down there was my junk from pulling out this morning. That is a Kelty Noah Tarp 12. It's a big old tarp, but it does me right. So I would rather have too big of a tarp than too small of a tarp, especially since it rained last night. But over a period of time, I'll find something that's a little lighter. This one does me right. That's where I slept. Here's an old campfire. Somebody has left some wood. It is soaked, so if I decide to get a fire going, it's going to take a little work to get that going. I did find some little tinder over here. Looks like some of the hemlock, some old dried hemlock. It's been laying around. And that's what these are. These are hemlock. So today I have a decision to make. This is going to be a 4-day trip. So, and today, since it was such a rough hike in, I was going to go to Camp 5, which is about 3.5 miles away today, which would have brought me 3.5 miles back tomorrow, and then another 9.6, 10, whatever, 400 miles, all the way back out to my Jeep. I don't want to do that 9.6 again here now. So, what I've decided to do is go ahead and hike out to Camp 7, which should put me about halfway back to my Jeep, and then hike back out the next day. I just got to decide whether I do that today or whether I do that tomorrow. So I'll putz around here a little bit and I'll figure it out, and I'll let you guys know. Panorama. Phew. Howdy. I've left Camp 6. I'm on my way to Camp 7. As I mentioned earlier, about halfway to between the two, one is fairly flat and one is not fairly flat. I went ahead and traversed over the flat area, and now I've started the up and down. I just came from down that area, which I actually kind of showed you on my way there yesterday. Just to give you an indication that that's up, and I doubt that that shows you the actual slope of that, but it is brutal. I'm going to attempt to walk this one-handed with my trusty $8 hiking poles here, just to see if I can kind of give you some sense of how steep this is. I'm going to try to keep this level. So there we go, that's level basically, and up that way. Well, it seems to be a cutout up there. Nope, that's the trail. That is steep, steep, steep. I'm gonna do this one-handed. It's gonna kill me. Maybe not kill me, but it hurts. It's times walking up this hill here that I wish my good buddies were here. Ron Sage, Steve Warner, Mikey Collins. I think you would all love this, and I'd like to share this experience with you going up this hill. Why keep this to myself? Whew. Here we go. This is actually faster than I would normally go. What I normally do is just keep a slow, steady pace. But regardless of what speed I go, I like to keep a rhythm. And I normally wouldn't go up it all at one time. I would take little breaks. Get to a relatively flat spot, which we'll call a cliff right now. Sit here, take a little break, and then keep moving on. That's probably the one good way to keep myself fresh. I lied. Here I am. I lied to you, I did take a break. As I mentioned yesterday, that when I can feel my heartbeat in the base of my skull a certain amount, that's when I take a break. So I took that break. The pounding is gone. So let's continue onward. One-handed, I'm awesome. Not that bright, but awesome. You can see where, with their bulldozing, they've created these little depressions right here, and then over here they've cut out some drainage. That's to keep this water from, as it rushes down, not to pick up steam and just create big gullies. They've tried to control that. So the bulldozing, while it's kind of created this dirty mess right here, which will eventually grow up, it's actually done a lot of good as far as trail maintenance goes. Oh my God. It's also given me little spots to take a break. My cerebral cortex was complaining. So let's go. Break time. My left hemisphere is swelled up. Okay, it's back now. Let's go. Whew. More drainage. My right brain has exploded. Hoping it'll self-repair. Just don't know. Let's go. Ready? Let's go. Oh, my pancreas! Oh, this next stretch gets me near the top. While this would, doing actually even this incline over a period of time would hurt, this is actually kind of a luxury for now. I'm going to go ahead and try to finish out. That way it can take me a nice little break at the top. I'll see if I can't get online somehow, get this elevation, distance elevation. I already know my average speed is 0. which gives acceleration of 0. F equals ma will fail or equate to nothing. Oh my God. This is where my trekking poles are a big help in one hand. That's where I immediately head down, and that's part of some other trail, service road, which I don't care about right now. This is where I'm going. Whew, boy. That's that. And that's where I came from. That's where I'm going to be for a minute. I've got enough water to continue to get to the next camp, but I think just barely. Which I could be okay. I'd find more water on the way there, but I thought this is a great opportunity to go ahead and stop, take a break, and get my water all filled up. So if I actually get to Camp 7 and I'm feeling great, or I'm feeling good, I'll continue onward. There's other campsites up on around. I may even stop and eat dinner on the trail. It'd be kind of fun. I'd be hiking into the night, which is of course always got a danger, but I'm okay with that. It's my danger, not anybody else's. So we'll see. When I get to Camp 7, if my feet are doing good, knowing, because I know what kind of hills I got ahead of me, I may go ahead and keep hiking. The biggest reason actually is I've not yet been able to get cell service, even though my wife knows that I might not. I'm sure she'd like to know whether I'm alive or dead, to know whether to send the insurance adjuster out. Because as we know, no body, no check. And with no check, there will be no Ferrari, no bigger house, no pool, no whatever else comes with it. So, no body, no check before I better send it out. There was a boot print or two come down to this camp, and I turn and I see that. So that's not a terrible deal, although one thing that's odd is that sleeping bag is outside, just sitting outside, which isn't normal. The tent is down. There's some items over there, which I really don't care about. But I gotta go get water. I'm hoping when I come back, I can get myself ready for whoever it is comes back. Hope I don't get another crazy. Good morning, campers. Had a great night's sleep. Small little rain here and there. This is a tremendous, nice little site. It's all woods, all woods. Camp 6 I thought was probably even better because I had the water there. But if you just like pretending like you've just marched and plopped right down in the middle of the woods, Camp 7's for you. So I'll give you a little tour of that here in a few minutes. But I'm cooking breakfast right now. Actually, the water's been heated up and I'm actually warming up my food. You can see again, I've got a little breakfast time chaos going on right here. That'll all get cleaned up. But you can see that over there, oh, no zoom. So we got a little breakfast time chaos going on. Got it all spread out so I can use it. You can see over there that nobody returned to that tent last night, and it's exactly the same as it was yesterday. So I'm gonna walk over there. I said probably the last thing I'll do is I'll probably just use a stick and poking the tent a little bit. Not that I expect to find any kind of lumps of previous human in there, but you never can tell. Either way around, I'm going to report that to the ranger station so they can do whatever it is that they want. Our breakfast is cooking up. I thought I'd show you the campsite. I'll just give you a little looky around here. There's my hammock setup, tarp, so forth. Again, breakfast is heating up, so a little chaos that's happening there. Basically, that's how I sleep. I put everything up underneath my hammock that I may need and all my gear. Back over that way is where I hung up my food, so the bears and critters aren't up on me trying to get it. But here's what I got right here. There's the entrance to the camp. Come this way, and that's what I first saw. That, oh God, another crazy. So really what you got here is just a couple well-worn campsites that are right in the middle of the woods. Any woods you took, if you had people camp here long enough, this is what you ended up with. Primitive. There is a little outhouse over there. We'll see what's in it, as far as if there's any necessities in there, what kind of repair it's in. Take a peek. Water's over there. But it's a nice site. Well, I'm going to go check the tent here to see what sort of body we have in there. It's kind of flat. Don't expect any kind of body. Nope, no body in there. No body.